This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. We have a direct drive washer, Series 80. This one is made by Whirlpool, and it is not going to spin. This is a very common problem with this type of machine with many front-loading and top-loading washing machines, their failure to go to spin. With this machine, it could be due to three possible causes. One is that the drain pump is clogged, the machine's clogged, it's not able to get all the water out of the spin basket. If that's the case, let's see how we're looking in here. This one does have some water remaining. If the machine can't get all the water out, it's just too heavy, and the machine will have trouble reaching full spin. Let's get a drain problem. The most common problem with this type of machine is the lid switch ends up breaking or not functioning. You should be able to lift the lid up and down and hear fairly loud audible click. That's a sign that your lid switch most likely is working and is functioning properly. So in this case, we probably have a functioning lid switch by the way it sounds. The other possibility is a broken rubber coupling, which we'll get into here in another repair soon. That's a result of the machine being loaded too heavily. So if we assume that we have a broken coupling, we need to take the cabinet off. To do that is pretty easy. What we'll do first is just remove this upper console with a couple of Phillips head screws. One here in the corner, one over in this corner. On the more modern direct drive units, those same Phillips head screws are actually going to be back here in the corner behind the console on both sides. Both times pretty easy to remove. Just going to make sure we unplug this unit first. Always safety is our primary concern. So we've got that unplugged. Now we're going to use a screwdriver to take out those screws. Just for the speed, we'll be using a driver, which is a little bit quicker. So this is, again, is one of the easiest machines to work on because Whirlpool designed it to be very simple and modular. Everything comes apart in a quick and easy way. These Phillips head screws come out. Pull those out, set those off to the side. It's very important to keep all the fasteners that you take out, put them off to the side where you know where they are. Trying to keep a mental note of how they came out, which ones came out first. Next thing we do on this machine is to pull the console toward us slightly and then to lift up. That releases some little dog ears underneath. So we can see here's one, and they fit into these holes right over here. So pretty clever way to put this all together. Looking now at the console lifted, we can see the back side of the timer, which is the brains of the operation. It tells the machine when to do its different functions. This is the motor, controls the timer. Here we have the water level sensor. This tube right here brings the column of air up as the water fills into the unit, presses in on a diaphragm which closes a switch and tells the machine that it's time to go to the agitation cycle. This is a very important part of the washer, is its ability to tell the proper water level. We also have the water temperature switch over here. Very simple parts. We also have a schematic built in, which is really nice for technical people to be able to see how the electrical circuit works. Now the next thing we'll do to remove the cabinet is we're going to remove the lid switch modular connection here by just pulling this tab towards you, and then you can wiggle it up. It comes right off. So that was this connection. Next thing, you can take a standard head screwdriver and remove these ingenious clips that Whirlpool came up with, which help us to quickly remove the cabinet. We're just going to push standard head screwdriver down in and then use this as a lever, pull back, and that clip comes up. Then you can just slip it out of this little slot here. Put that off to the side. We have another one over on this side. We're going to put that screwdriver in position. We're going to push back, the clip comes up. We got that clip out. Now pretty easy to take off the cabinet at this point. Everything has been disconnected, and what we'll do is open up the lid, and then we're going to pull the cabinet toward us at a diagonal. Once you have it up at a diagonal, lift the cabinet up and out of the way. That's pretty easy. To remove the lid switch, once we've removed this cabinet from the main chassis, what we'll do next is remove two Phillips head screws that are holding it in position, and they are right here and right here. By the way, if you ever have to get your machine just to work until you can get the part, you just want it to work for a while, if you press in on this panel, you should hear it click. A broken lid switch won't click, but pressing a little further down often will allow it to go to spin, just until you can get the proper part. The reason they have this lid switch is they're trying to prevent a young person from opening this lid during high-speed spin and reaching in and trying to grab something, because the machine is powerful enough where it could really hurt the hand, even rip the arm off. So it's a safety device. Never good to bypass this switch. So now we're going to remove these two screws, which are the ones holding the lid switch in place. Kind of long ones. And we have one over here, same thing. There we go. And the next thing we'll do to get better access to the lid switch itself is we'll turn the cabinet upside down. One other piece we want to remove here, since we've already got the Phillips head screws removed from this part of the lid switch, is we also want to remove this modular connection that exists here at the top. This is done by pressing in on the sides. We have one here and one here that we can press in on, and we should be able to wiggle this out of the sheet metal connector. Might want to get a standard head screwdriver to give you a little help. Set that so you can see. Pushing in on that tab, pushing in on the other tab, and then that allowed us to push it down through. Now we can turn it upside down. Okay, here we have our cabinet turned upside down, and we can see this is the modular piece that used to fit through this hole here that we pulled out. And here's the lid switch itself, which is now pretty much ready to come out. We just have to remove this little ground strap here, which is I believe that's a 3/8 inch drive. So we're going to put our drive on there, loosen it up. So it's changed to a different size. Okay, so we're just removing this screw, which is on the ground strap, and that will allow us now to remove the lid switch. We've got that out, wires free. Switch is still connected by a little spring clip there that holds a plastic tube in place, and there's another spring clip here at the top. It's pretty easy to get those out. They should just snap free, just under a little bit of pressure. Okay, so we have the lid switch now removed from the cabinet. Pull that out. We have the switch itself here, and it has a paddle on it, and this paddle pushed down should have a clicking sound. Sometimes what happens though is that the seam here on the side breaks, glue fails, and then it won't click properly anymore. It won't allow this machine to go to spin. So that's happened. We just need to put in a new lid switch, and pretty much the reverse of how we took it out. Pretty straightforward. So we are going to put our switch back in. This one seems to be working well. Another option is to do a continuity test. If you have a multi-tester, you just take this modular piece here on the lid switch, and you put one of your leads on this one here on the side and the other one on the other side, not the middle though, one on this side, one on this side, and then press down on the lid switch and you should see a change in the reading on your meter. Or if you have it set to audible, you should be able to hear a beep, meaning the electrons are able to flow through the lid switch. We've done that with this switch already, and we've been able to determine that it is working. So you can either put in your new switch, or in this case, this one's functioning. We'll put this back in. Okay, we've got this lid switch back into position. Just going to connect this ground strap. Just putting the bolt back in through the washer and then back into the hole, tightening that down. And also we're going to put this modular connector back through that hole. And it is modular, so it's going to be pretty easy. We'll just put it in proper side. And should be able to kind of wiggle it into position until it locks. There we go. So that one's done. Tighten this up, put the cabinet back on, and we'll be done. Okay, we've got our cabinet back in position. We're going to hook up our modular connection for the lid switch, which is pretty easy. Just put it in position and press until it clicks. And we're going to hook up our clips. So we'll put one behind there and push that in until it clicks. That one's in. Kind of fun. This one, same thing, hooks in behind. Put that in position, push down until that one clicks. Okay, we got that. Next thing is to put the console back into position. And to do that, I'm going to bring this down, and we're just going to try to line up these little dog ears again. Got one over here, these two guys. Do that on the other side. Alright, and then we're just going to push in, so we know that's locked. If we lift up, console shouldn't be able to lift. We know that's in. We're just going to put in our Phillips head screw in each corner. Over to this corner. Okay, and then we'll tighten those up. Be careful not to go too tight on this part because it can break the plastic skin. There we go, there's one. And here's the other. This one had been broken before, probably got pushed in too hard. There we go. Alright, we're going to make sure this guy can go to spin. Just got to plug it back in. We know we have a healthy lid switch in there now. Power's on. I'm going to set it for spin. Pull back. You can hear it draining. You know the drain system's working. Open the door. The lid should stop right away. But we can see that it was spinning. And if you ever want to inspect it, you can use a screwdriver just to push down on the lid switch itself. You can see that it's picking up speed pretty quick. Sign of a healthy motor, healthy clutch, healthy spin system, draining out the extra water. Again, very important never to reach in here at this high-speed spin. It's very powerful. And we have a fully functioning washer again. This is Scott the Fix-It Guy, and that's our repair for today. Thank you.